Hello guys, in this video I will talk about origin of the humans and the lions as one. When high elves were banished from their land by night elves, they settled in land they named Quel'Thalas, meaning High Kingdom. They encountered first human, but only for a couple of trading purposes, nothing large. Unfortunately for high elves, they built their kingdom on sacred troll land, which led in constant attacks by trolls. In the meantime, human tribe called Erether was growing worried about troll activities, and they decided that all human tribes should come into union so they could defend against trolls. Unfortunately, other tribes weren't so considerate, so Arati were forced to attack and win battles against other tribes, and when they beat them, they granted them opportunity to join them, which they did. So that is a tale how first human kingdom of Arthur was created with capital city Strom. Since Hylos were in war with trolls, they almost lost, so they sent ambassador to Strom to plead for assistance from the human king Thoradin. Thoradin agreed to help them under condition that they have to learn humans in the ways of magic. Hylos agreed on that and said that they will learn 100 human in the way of magic. Although humans were clumsy, they had natural affinity for magic, and they taught them basics of elven magic enough for battling against trolls. So humans and Hyles forged first alliance in the war against trolls, which they eventually won. After Troll War, over the years they fell apart. Hyles withdrew themselves into their kingdom. Humans that were taught in the ways of magic called mages decided to form their city in which they could practice their magic freely, namely Dalaran. And soon traders that didn't know magic but could provide resources also moved to Dalaran. Several aristocrats from Arathor decided to make their own kingdom, which they named Lordaeron, and over time other nations were formed like Gilneas, Alterac, and Kultiras. So practically alliance fell apart. Now we'll skip years and go to the time period of First War. So during the First War, Les Guardian Medivh was contacted by Gul'dan to open a pathway to bring orcs into Azeroth since they used all of the resources on Draenor. Eventually orcs came to Azeroth, conquered most of the land, destroying Stormwind and pushing humans north. Following the destruction of Kingdom of Azeroth by the Orcish hordes, its survivors fled to Lordaeron. When the refugees from Stormwind arrived on the shores of Lordaeron, bringing their tales of the Horde, the humans saw their common sense in forming an alliance of their countries and with their neighbor races. It was not as simple as that, however. When the refugees arrived on the shores of Lordaeron, fleeing the horrible horde, King Tyrannus of Lordaeron called delegates from the seven nations of humanity together to meet to discuss the threat. King Tyrannus of Lordaeron called the other human kings together to discuss the horde and Stormwind. King Tyrannus took the refugees at their word about the danger in the south and agreed to join forces. Backed by Delin Prowler of Kultiras, he moved that the humans unite to save the Stormwind people and remove the horde from the land. The other five leaders were harder to convince. Kultiras, Dalaran, and Stormguard were agreeable, while Gilneas and Alterac were hesitant. As they were meeting, the Arathorn dwarves faced the horde as it rampaged through their lands, and knew that they needed aid if we were to protect their homelands. The horde also caught the attention of Hylos in Quel'Thalas. Each of the races approached the humans to discuss the horde and to eventually join alliance. Most of the human countries, after much quarreling, finally agreed to unite for the betterment of the future. They called themselves the Alliance and put their arms under the control of Lothar, who had faced the horde. They included all seven of the human nations, some more grudgeable than others, so Alliance of Lordaeron was formed, the union of the seven human kingdoms along with the dwarves of Khazad-dûm, which also included the gnomes of Novigrad, and Area Peak, the high elf of Quel'Thalas, and others with the major with a major political influence including the Church of the Holy Light. The Alliance of Lordaeron was led by King Terrans Menethil II, who accepted ambassadors or the monarchs from all member nations and races to his capital. Rarely did the monarch of the major realm come together. Generally they spoke through couriers and diplomats, with the occasional state visit thrown in them as well. While Tyrannus was highest in charge of the alliance regarding military, each nation and race retained a great deal of autonomy and self-government in internal affairs. This agreement, however, was only effective during wartime, and led the alliance to victory in the Second War. So to understand who they were, I will take time to explain each of these factions. So Stormwind, the shattered southern country, once made upon the mightiest of the human kingdoms, they mountain below King Lane, who died when Stormwind fell to the Horde, and they settled near Southshire, determined to take back their homes. Lordaeron, descent from the ancient Arati, spiritual nation which armies were the heart and backbone of the alliance. Lordaeron's opposite was Stormguard. Its leader, Thoros Trollbane, led his kingdom with strict martial philosophy, while Lordaeron brought the priestess, Stormguard brought the warriors. Admiral Dalin Proudmoore led the island kingdom of Kultiras. Kultiras was a naval and merchant country, and thus both rich and powerful. Proudmoore was an ally of Edwin Lothar, so he was Azor's second strongest patron. Ken Grayman ruled Gilneas, the peninsular nation near Kultiras. Personally, he was an isolationist leader who only led the alliance when it benefited him. He joined the alliance in the Second War, but offered only token support. Dalaran was a nation populated by and run by magies. The Kirin Tor ran the country as a conclave, their committee leading the magi in an intelligent as well as political fashion. Lord Aidan Pernold, perhaps the most notorious human noble of the Second War, was in the charge of Alterac at the beginning of hostilities. Pernold was cowardly and his will was weak. He betrayed the alliance, sending ships to strike at their vulnerabilities, so they destroyed his kingdom. That alliance won the battle against Horde. After the Second War, Stormguard, Gilneas of human factions, and Quel'Thalas left the alliance, and during the invasion on Draenor, Kultiras also left the alliance but came back during the Third War. Which brings us to the Third War, or the Warcraft 3 storyline. Lordaeron, Dalaran, and Stormguard were destroyed by the Scourge, and Novigrad was destroyed because of chokes. Quel'Thalas was also destroyed, and survivors joined back in the alliance, although most of them later called themselves Blood Elves, and these Blood Elves were separated into two groups. One group is led by Lord Temar Terron, and they eventually joined the Horde. And other group of Blood Elves were led by Kel'Thas Sunstrider, which joined Illidan forces in Outland. Since Third War was held on both Eastern Kingdoms and Azeroth, Night Elves were also introduced back into story, and they showed promisable ally for the mighty alliance. After the Third War, when Archimonde was defeated, Lordaeron completely fell to ruins and Forsaken came out of it. Stormwind was fully rebuilt and led by now grown King Varian Grim. Dalaran was rebuilt, its city left the alliance and became independent. Stormguard rejoined the alliance, although they were crippled almost extinct. Gilneas left the alliance but joined afterwards in Cataclysm. Survivors of Alterac called themselves syndicates and wanted to destroy all and rebuild Kingdom of Alterac. After all of these, remaining factions left in the alliance were humans of Stormwind and Stormguard and newly found Terramore, gnomes, dwarves, Night Elves, and later in Burning Crusade Draenei joined alliance, and in Cataclysm Vortians joined, who were once human of Gilneas turned into Vortians. So this is basically the story about the alliance as whole. I hope you really enjoyed it, and till next time, see you.